Timmy, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, pretty good here. We're doing a live podcast for the first time. And we
Little
got
Johnny
Timmy in
Morris,
Greenland.
little Johnny
Yeah,
Morris to bring us in a little. Moving back to Cohoes.
yeah,
How you been, man?
pretty good here. It's been a busy week. I guess you've been away to Connecticut for a few days.
Yeah, I took off for a few days to get out of this crazy city, Cohoes. But listen, it's pretty cool. So we're live today. Everybody who can see us, thanks
Yeah,
for joining. It's kind of interesting. It's our first time, so I'm sure we'll screw up a little bit, but going to give it the best that we got. So
let's have at it.
So let's
Get
have at it.
it.
Let's jump right into it. Today, no script, no nothing. We're just talking about the silly season in Cohoes. You got politics going on, all the crazy shit going on. People, putting up one sign here, and then the next guy putting a sign in front of his sign, and his sign in front of his sign. And you drive by the next day, there ain't no signs. I go, this city is just fucking crazy. I
They're
don't
getting
get
stepped on and knocked over and flattened out. So picked up,
it.
walked away with. You name it,
Yeah.
it's happening out there.
It's a crazy city, man. But hey, listen, before we go any further, Timmy, let me just jump in and say to people, listen, if you like hit the subscribe button, join our podcast, and we'd appreciate it. Helps us grow, helps us get some sponsors. So, Timmy, let's jump right into this thing. So, we got a special guest with us. He's been with us a few times because he's the only guy that has any kahunas to come on, only politician that will join us, and
That's
that's
right.
our good friend Billy Smith. Billy, you with
Mhm.
us? Good to
I'm
see you.
just, I'm just answering little Facebook stuff that people want to know what's
Don't answer
going
nobody
on,
right
what's
now.
going
You're
on
on a
live and
podcast live, man.
everything.
Let's
But I'm
just jump
sorry,
right into it.
I'm
Hey,
here.
hey, so
You'll have to
Billy,
watch the recorded version.
it's great that you're here because you're the only guy that has any kahunas to jump on the show with us, right? Most people just they just for whatever
They've been
reason,
invited.
yeah, they've been invited. They're just scared. I don't know. Maybe they're afraid I'm going to say something they don't want to talk about, or Timmy's going to tell me email them 65 freaking times and they don't respond
Yeah,
back, and they're
yeah.
going to get all nervous. But you're here, and I appreciate it. So let's jump
Well,
right into something, right?
well, hang on again. I mean, I was here in the beginning of October, and I'm here at the end of October. And again, it's still Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I want
Absolutely.
people to realize that there's an issue out there, and hope everybody does their cause to support um, breast cancer awareness. And I know we're live. I'm going to screw up many times tonight, but I believe so.
Yeah, well,
Go
we
ahead.
all believe. Hey, listen, we all know somebody's had cancer, man. We pray for them every day. Thank you, Billy, for putting that on our show. We talked about the last show. Hey, my mom passed away of cancer. It's a terrible disease. So God bless everybody. We're here supporting you any way that we can. But I want to jump right into your race, Billy, because it's quite interesting.
It is
Yeah, it's
more than
quite
interesting,
interesting.
Sean. It's ridiculous.
Let me just kind of lay it out for people that don't know. So Billy Smith is the current council member, not a very good friend of the current mayor. He's a pretty outspoken guy, and anybody who's outspoken seems to get put into the little corner where you're done scap on, and you're not allowed to talk no more. So Billy runs a race, right, Timmy?
Yeah.
We know Billy runs. Billy, I don't want to talk about your health problems, but you had a little health problem that you were taking care of, so you didn't do a whole hell lot of campaigning, and you end up losing uh, um, the
Primary.
Democratic race, the primary. I guess, and most people would say in Cohoes, you lose the primary, you're dead in the water.
Yep.
But not Billy Smith, right? Because Billy Smith said, "Hey, I still have another political line." We'll talk about that nonsense as well, and you're out there healthy, working hard, knocking on doors, and people say, "Hey, Billy, can you get me an absentee ballot?" So Billy decides that he's going to help these people. He gets the absentee ballots, brings those absentee ballots down to the Board of Elections. They get their absentee ballots from the Board of Elections, and long and behold, out of every place in America, only one guy has all the absentee ballots that he went down and picked up for people are the wrong ballots, and his name's not on the ballot, so those people can't vote for him, right? So is that so far so good, Billy?
No, no, you're spot on. It wasn't all of them, Sean. But it was a lot of them that like you said, in June I didn't go out and do much campaigning, but I went out this time around. because I know there's a lot of folks out there that want me to be in my seat, and that don't like what's going on in the city of Cohoes, let alone the first ward. But no, yeah, I went out and I picked up these ballots, and then I brought them to people, and they're like, "Well, Bill, your name's not on the on here." So now I had to inconvenience people again to go back to Albany to get the right ballots to bring them back to the people that were inconvenienced to vote whoever
So,
they
hey,
wanted to vote for. I don't know who they voted for because they're signed, sealed, and delivered. But at the end of the deal, it you know I went to the Democratic commissioner and I didn't get no help. So I was told to go to the Republican side of the aisle and listen. I'm not running on a Democratic line. I got a third party line, the working families plan line. Whatever people want to think about that, it is what it is. But that's what
that's
we
all
need to
nonsense.
do
Who
at
gives
this
a shit
day
about that?
You're not the
to
only
survive.
one, though.
But
You're
at
not
the end of the
only one.
day, I had to go to the commissioner on the Republican side to fix the situation, and it's just it's been a snowballing effect. I've been sabotaged by one person, I believe, allegedly, to go out and pick up these ballots, and it's a friggin' joke. And I
Hey,
know we're
here's
live,
the
and I
bottom.
can't swear, and I don't want to put no
Here's the
names out
bottom
there.
line, Billy. You're the only guy that's getting screwed. Nature of the
Yeah,
business. I know it better than anybody, right? So you're running. They don't want you to win. They didn't want you to win. They were giving the kid who's running against you money before the election even
Yeah,
started. Timmy found all this shit out, right, Tim?
yeah, that's right. Okay, and he's not the only one. Okay, they've been funneling money there. Look, it's as bad as it gets, and not only in that ward there, but you got Alicio in the sixth ward donating money against a colleague right here in the Common Council.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
that only tells you who they're loyal to, right? The mayor
right?
of the city has the puppets all on the string, and
Yeah,
I've seen mayors support candidates against members
yeah,
of a sitting council, right? Because
yeah,
he's a pain in my ass. I want to get rid of him, so let's get rid of Billy Smith. I'm going to put Timmy up. I'm going to fund his campaign. This is a little different because this is city council people trying to get rid of their own people because
right.
they're puppets for Keeler. And when
Yeah,
you're a puppet for Keeler, you do what you're told. And so they try to spend their money and they go after Billy. You think it's a freaking coincidence that Billy Smith got ballots with the don't have his name on it from the Board of
and,
Elections
and the
from
fact, and the
yeah,
I'm sorry, Sean, not to interrupt you, and the fact that the Gil Ether is going out there. There's at least 6 or 7 votes that Gil's trying to pick up that I've personally handed people that he's going out there to say, I don't care who you vote for, but give me your ballots. No, it's
yeah.
not right.
yeah.
He's
I
Give me
mean,
your
interfering with it.
ballot.
this
Give me your
is this
give me your
is the screwiest job ever
yeah. I look
I've
at I
seen. I mean, if you hate me, hate me. Come to my face and hate
are
me.
you telling me you got screwed more than me?
Yeah, yeah. But listen, if you don't
Not
want
so
me, if,
fast, my friend.
if
I
you
don't
don't want
believe
me,
so.
if you don't want to be here, tell me. Hey, Mr. Chairman, tell me. I don't want you to be the first ward councilman. So I'm going to go do that. I mean, there's documented, and Timmy has this. There's documented evidence that emails that I have or Facebook messages that I have
Yep.
that Gil has literally went to say, "Give me your ballot."
Yeah, he's
And there's
intimidating voters.
also ballots that somebody said, I'm throwing it away because I don't want to vote. I
Hmm.
mean, this is horseshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're
That's
Well,
live.
I can tell
that's
you that at
But
least three families.
this is what they're trying to do to me. And I don't care. I want to win. If I win, great. If I lose, whatever. I still have a life. But at the end of the day, is am I that important for a $13,000 fucking year? Oh, sorry, live. $13,000
Do you think
year
it's different if
job.
you're live or you're taped? You're still going to say the same thing.
I
People are
know,
going to still
but
see your potty mouth.
this
This
is
is a
crap
family
with Gil.
show.
This
Mhm.
is
Yeah,
all
come
under
on.
Gil
Yeah.
Ethier, and you know what? And I don't, as much as Killer and I don't get along, but this is all Gil, and I'll throw Steve Napier into this because they were sitting at a diner, talking about Bill Smith and how we got to get rid of him and get the votes out. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
yeah,
I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm out there and I do what I got to do. And if people like me, they don't like me. If people want to vote for me, they vote for me. But it's just it's a shame. It's a shame how this Albany County legislator, Gil Ethier,
yeah.
is out there trying to steal votes from me.
He's
Yeah.
been
Well,
doing
Allegedly.
this for 40 years, for Christ's sake, Bill.
well, it's too
Not-
bad these things are happening to you, Billy. Hey, look, on this show, we wish you the best, right? And keep plugging along, keep knocking on doors. You're never out of the fight, my friend. I tell people that all the time. You're never out of the fight.
Yep.
Just keep doing what you got to do, and
You got
keep being
another week.
who you are. And I think in the end of the day, you may be surprised that you're standing in the winner's circle. But
Well,
Billy,
I think at the end of the day that as much as Gil is out there pushing for my opponent, and people know that he's doing wrongdoings, allegedly wrongdoings, that I may survive this. I don't know, and we'll go from there. But on a higher note, years ago, that we had a program called Safe Havens. And
Tell us
Shawn,
about it.
you were probably mayor at the time or whoever, but the school district, under Tom Mullins, had this program, Safe Havens, where when kids felt that they were being followed or whatever, they walked into an establishment and they were safe. So myself and Brendan LeQuig brought this up to a business owner in the city. And then she ran with it on her own, not mentioning Brandon or myself, that gave her Tom Mullins' information, by the way. Now they have a program, and it's just another fiasco in the city of Cohoes. I don't know, I'm on a tangent about it,
So
but
they stole your idea?
well, listen. At the end of
they
the day,
basically stole Brandon, Brandon LeQuig, who's
Yeah.
running for 6th Ward, and myself, gave this,
Yeah.
this establishment the information. Tom Mullins, who is a great educator, who's the best person ever. If you were ever in Cohoes or Green Island, you know who he is. We gave her the information, and there supposedly there's a program out there now, but
so who gives a shit? At the end of the
credit.
day,
I
kids have a
know,
place to go and
I
walk in
know,
and be
but
safe, right? So who
it's
cares,
like we want
right?
kids to go to a safe place, and whoever's responsible for it, we want kids to go to a safe
Hey,
place.
Billy,
But
at the end of the day, everybody knows you guys did it. I told people on the podcast 3 days or 3 weeks before this lady went and tried to say she did it. I look at that stuff as trivial. Who really cares? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, if a kid's got a problem, walk into one of these stores that has a sign. If you have a problem and it ain't got a sign, walk into the door, because the
Yeah.
city Cohoes is becoming a shithole. And we did 2 podcasts about just kids getting beat up. Kids
Yep.
being beat up by other kids, and then parents jumping in. And then the city has this cliche now. Sorry, nothing we can do. They're too young. Bullshit. You can't do nothing if you don't want to do nothing. You
Yeah.
can't do nothing if you don't try to do something. You have, look at, if everybody who told me you couldn't do something I listened to, we wouldn't even have Canal Square Park. We'd still be a shithole park in the middle of the city. The city's in trouble, Bill. They need a guy like you. I'm praying for you. I hope you win. Just keep plugging along, keep working hard. And me and Tim are going to jump off for a little bit, talk about some other stuff. But if you want to come back, stick around. All right.
I'll stay on. You guys can do what you want.
All right.
I'm here. It's live.
Just,
Let's go.
you might as
All
well
right.
listen in on what we got going on about the flyer that's been going out. You
So we
know,
got a new.
Sean, I didn't get, believe it or not, I didn't get this flyer in the mail. Okay,
Oh.
my sister did.
Well, I didn't get
I didn't
one
get a
either,
flyer
Tim.
either.
I still vote, for God's
Well,
sakes. But
well, you know what? We're not on the Christmas list either.
well, that's because we ain't on the Christmas list because you turned them into the ethics board for sending out Christmas cards
Yeah.
using city funds. Now,
Yeah.
can you imagine if somebody else did that? They'd have ABC, FBI,
Oh,
EIGs,
yeah. And the ethics board says
PDs.
it's okay for the greatest good. It's insane.
So
Giving
listen, let's talk
300
about that
for
flyer for a minute,
Well,
right?
let's do it.
Because we had, I have talked about it because it just burns my bridges, right? We've talked
Yeah.
about this whole baloney about powering these lights with this new light bulb, and it was going to
Yeah,
save millions of dollars. And
crazy.
and today, I think it was today. Ironically, it's a election week, and usually all of the election
Lies
cronies
come
get
out.
together and
Right.
start handing out these big checks, right?
Yeah, right. All the lies and the photo ops and everything,
Yeah,
they all
and
come out now. And
I
not to
always
be surprised, our lies came out, with McDonald
Well, that's what I'm
and all
talking
them
about.
there.
So
Yeah.
let's just put this into perspective, right? Every one of us are paying our freaking taxes.
Uh-huh.
Everybody goes out to get a soda pop, you got to pay taxes. You go get a beer, you got to pay taxes. They steal all your money, they put it in the big pot, right? And then all of a sudden, they come in front of you one day and go, we're giving $1.5 million. We're out of your pocket. You're full of shit. You're taking my money, doing some kind of dog and pony show so you can look like you did something, and you hold up a big check and go, John McDonald's giving $500,000 to the city of Coast. Oh, really? Is it out of the 2.5 million he stole out of his own pocket? Or is it coming from my pocket and your pocket and Billy's pocket
Yeah,
because we paid the taxes? It's
yeah.
tax money that's taken
Exactly.
from you, and then they give it back so they can do the dog and pony show. So they
Yeah.
do this dog and pony show. They go, okay, we're giving $1.5 million, and $500,000 of the project is coming from the savings that we saw from the new light bulbs.
Which is a
Bullshit.
big lie.
Big, big lie. We know it's a big lie. It's the freaking the little twinkle dust that comes out of their eye.
Oh, Jesus. So,
So,
so think
so
about it.
here's
He
the
said we're
bottom line.
saving $500,000. It's laughable.
They ain't
500,000.
saving shit.
Not even near that.
Three podcasts we talked about it.
Yeah.
Cohoes, we talked about Cohoes, the good, the bad, the ugly. We should put the bullshit, right? Because
Yeah.
here's what happens. You go out and take $6 million freaking dollars. $6 million.
Yeah.
You have to pay $400,000 a year to borrow that $6 million. And then you have a bill for $400,000 every single year. In order to save money, you have to wipe out that $400,000, right?
Right. And you
But that's
don't
not what's happening. They got to pay $400 for the freaking loan, and they're still paying $250,000 for the lights. So now
for
it's
the light.
$650,000 for $450,000 lights. Do you get that, people? Did you understand what I'm saying? Am I talking too fast? The bottom line is they borrowed $6 million and tell you that they're going to save all this money, and they're losing $250,000 a year. But you're all stupid, people. You ain't going to figure it out. So they're going to tell you, we saved $500,000.
Right
You know
there.
how they say
Right.
they're saying it, Timmy? Because if you go to the budget and you look under the light bulbs,
It's right
it's going to
there.
show 450. The following year, it's going to show 250, then 200. And they're going to say, see, it doesn't say 450 no more. No shit, because you took the other 400 and you hit it 3 aisles down. And you
Right.
still have to count it because you're using it to pay for the freaking
Right.
lights.
It's a bond. It's a bond that they're concealing from everybody.
Hey,
Now look at on this
can I just
and on
interject
this
somewhere
wait a
along
minute, on
here?
this $36 million.
Yeah, interject,
Okay,
because you probably
they-
voted for this stupid thing. I got to respect you
I
voting
did,
for
but
it.
here's the thing though that the mayor wants to go green and all this stuff with
Yeah,
the
he goes
solar
green. He
panels
goes
and
Black Lives
stuff like that.
Matters. He goes
But
bullshit. The
here's
guy's
the
full of
thing.
shit.
But he sends out these flyers to everybody that
Made of
are going to
paper.
go into the garbage
Made of trees.
that nobody really gives a shit about. And then where's your green savings there? If you want to go green, don't send out flyers. Don't spend
He
five
could have
thousand
came on
dollars
this
on a flyer.
podcast and talked all about the great things he's lying about.
Yeah, but don't spend money on flyers when you're advocating for a greener space and greener
Billy, they're not
Cohoes and greener
advocating.
life.
They're
And
full of
send these
shit.
flyers out
Here-
that are going
right.
into our trash.
Right. Here's the thing, okay? Of this
This
36
is what
million
email's
he
about.
got
This
in
is what
4 years, okay? 36 million in grants in 4 years, and he said we only spent 20% of it. Now that's $7 million. Now, if he spent $7 million of those grants, what did they do with the $8 million in bonds?
Yeah, it's just smoke and mirrors.
The numbers don't make sense.
That's because they don't expect people to give a shit. They don't expect
Yeah,
people. That's what the show's about, right?
yeah.
Listen, I stood in those dog and pony
Oh,
shows. I
mm,
stood next to those big checks. I used to say to myself, I'm standing with a bunch of people that I'd rather smack upside the head than hang out with for 5 freaking minutes. I would never hang out with them if they were my age. I would never hang out with them. They lived in the city. I wouldn't hang out with them. I didn't want nothing to do with these people. I used to feel out of place. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to help people. I never showed up. They'd show up and say, ribbon cutting. We'd get an email, ribbon cutting. And I'd look and it'd say, Arbor Hill ribbon cutting. I'm like, I don't know nothing about Arbor Hill. I don't even live there. I had nothing to do with the business opening up.
Hey,
And then in the paper the next day, I'd see John McDonald, Danny McCoy. I'd see all these people standing together cutting a ribbon. And I'm like, what investment did they make into that
hey,
business?
listen
And
though.
one of them showed up when the business failed, giving the
Listen
people
though,
their
but
money back.
you're getting comments here. I'm seeing comments here. Can you see those?
Yeah, right now I'm talking
Maybe
though.
we should. I mean, somebody says smoke and mirrors, and
Yeah,
then we
I'm
leave.
reading
Or
right along,
let
man.
let's. I
Is this
don't.
your show, Billy, or is it ours?
I see a lot of comments. Co-host, maybe.
what you
Where
do?
did he
Cut him
go?
off?
Where did Billy go? I think we can't. I'm going back to this.
Leave.
Yeah, so we
Well,
listen. I got the
he's going to put
texter. I see
fire on your
texter.
head next, Billy.
You got texter. You
Lawyer
got
calls this
Tina. I see
integrity
Pete and
and
Pools. Yeah, I
transparency.
see everybody. Thanks. Thanks for
I
the
mean,
comments. I'm gonna.
this is. I mean, I don't know who. I mean, street sweepers and LEDs, the cleanest, most well lit potholes and go. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know
I
who's
think
these comments.
the reality is this, right? We got people making comments, and we're going to read those comments when we get to the comment reading part. But right now,
Sorry.
we're doing the podcast part. And if you live in the first ward, call me. I got to talk to you guys in private.
Yeah.
Well, look, the bottom line is this, okay? If you borrow, just as we said earlier, you borrow $400,000, yeah, or $8 million in that area, and you have to pay 4,000 a year. You got to add that 4,000 to the
So,
2,000 that you were paying.
look at everybody
It's
who
a
watches.
lie.
Yeah, everybody who watches the show knows that it's smoke and mirrors, right?
It is.
Look at you can lie about that. I can show you a freaking email. I was looking at it earlier to
Yeah,
some guy named Joe. They said I called Mike DeRocher, and Mike, has probably got orders not to say nothing, especially to me and you about the show. And he said, "Hey, listen, if you want to know anything," and I appreciate Mike. I love him. He's the best thing the city's got.
yeah, yeah.
The bottom line is though, I text this or emailed this Joe guy, and you know what I got back from Joe?
Bullshit.
Shit. Nothing. Zip. Zero.
Mhm.
Looks like some people are having trouble getting on here because I got
There are some. There are some. I've
says the
been
link is broken.
yeah, I'm being told that too.
Yeah, I don't know
I
what to
mean,
do.
I see the comments.
Yeah, I see the comment. Hey, listen, this is the first time that we did this, and it says the link is broken. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I can't tell you. And at this point, it's probably too late for me to try to figure it out.
yeah.
Some people have found it. Um,
Mhm.
and others it looks like they haven't, but this let me no, that link is working, so let me put this link back up, man. Just give me a second here. Let me send.
While he's doing that, Billy, you know what? I'm looking at, they're saying the totally recycling costs are down, right? They were paying DPW overtime $7,000, and every 3 months they were transferring money, 7 grand, okay, in the budget, and they would do these transfers. They did it 4 times. I kept reporting it. Suddenly, those transfers ain't happening anymore. They've been concealed, and then look at the street lights. I'm all in favor of LED lights, but once you own it, Billy, and then it fails, you got to pay someone to go replace that light, and you got
Tim,
to purchase it.
Tim, here's the deal with the streetlights, and again, as I said earlier, the mayor wants to send out flyers, to vote for him and all the good that he's done, which he's done really nothing. That goes in the garbage. That's
Yeah,
that's in the garbage. But he wants to claim that he's green and all this stuff like
yeah,
that. at the end of the day, these LED lights and the solar panel that he's trying to do, which well, not trying to do, but has done.
Go, yeah,
At the end of the day, who's it going to benefit?
Well, listen. Here's why they're doing it. Let me give you the inside scoop.
yeah,
First, let me just tell people. Look, I appreciate Harold you getting that link up and Tetster. If for some reason Facebook is not working, go to the link on my page, and you can watch it on YouTube. I guess we still have some bugs to work out, and I apologize. This is our first
But
try.
it's the first time.
And I'm sure that we'll get it right. It was supposed to be easy as one click, but it didn't work on Facebook. If it didn't, go over to the page, hit the link. It'll take you to our YouTube channel, and you can watch it live there. So here's how this shit works, right? This is really about other players using Cohoes to see if what they want to do works. And if it doesn't work, they go, that Bill Keeler was a moron. He put the solar panels on. But it isn't Bill Keeler. He's just a puppet. You know how many times they'd call me when I was the mayor of the city and say, hey, can you do this? Hey, will you do this? Hey, can you do this? And I'd be like, no, I can't.
yeah,
That's why they didn't want me, because I wasn't going to be the fall guy for all the nonsense. They wanted me to spend $6 million putting light bulbs in. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I put them in my bathroom. Right? And guess what? I had to change them 15 times in about 6 months. So
yeah,
if you remember when I was the mayor, I wanted the bridges lit up. I wanted flags up. I wanted Cohoes proud. I
Yes.
wanted people come across that bridge and know they were coming into a new and improved Cohoes. So we put all the new lights, LEDs, along the 112th Street Bridge. Guess what? They were about $140 a light bulb to have the guy go up, put the light bulb, fix it. I changed them 7 times when I finally said, this ain't working. This is a
yeah,
terrible idea.
yeah.
And then
They
they
Well,
come
don't
they were
have.
back.
they were on Bridge Ave for the
They're
last
out
week.
everywhere. I know. I put them in there. They just don't work. So the $6 million they spent on these lights. This was a Governor Cuomo bullshit scam. He wanted all the counties to get together and come up with this shared services idea, right? And
Mhm.
nobody could figure out how to share the services like fire, police. There's a lot of contracts. There's a lot of stuff that makes it difficult, right? So they came up with light bulbs. One company gets rich because everybody goes to them for the light bulbs. All the cities get screwed because they end up, buying into this because the good old Governor Cuomo, Governor Squeezy, touchy feely, has got them putting light bulbs in. And at the end of the day, they don't work and they don't save you money.
Well, they
And by the
fail
time they
prematurely.
start saving you money,
Not
the
in our
cost of
lifetime.
electricity went, huh?
Yeah.
Not in our lifetime.
The
Well,
one
not
in front
even.
of right, one in front of my house failed twice in 6 months. It's on its third light up there now.
Yeah,
Okay, but the
I
bottom line is this. Okay, they're going to fail. They're warranted. The labor's warranted for 3 years, so we've got really 1 year left on that. Worst case, 1.5 years on the labor, and then another 7 years. All the warranty expires on these things,
look
which
at.
means we're going to be buying everything and
Yeah.
at our cost for 10 more years before our bond is even paid off.
Listen, you ain't saving money when you're losing money on the lights. And
Yeah,
then let's jump over to something else, right?
yeah,
Let's jump over to the fact that he's got a flyer out talking about police, fire, EMS.
yeah,
EMS is now
yeah.
$1 million in this city. $1 million. It used to be zero. It could
Right.
still be zero. Or you could
Hmm.
still have the fire department doing. There's other options. But this guy, for some reason, won't budge off this ambulance, and he's going to pay them $1 million a year. It is the biggest scam, the greatest loss, the biggest failure this city's ever seen. No other government entity in this city, no other mayor in this city
Would
has
do it.
ever lost $1 million a year from something that was free
Hmm.
So
when there's
so
other options.
so we're talking about money now. So let's talk about his impromptu.
23% raise,
Yeah,
27%
let's talk
raise.
about that.
So,
Twenty-seven
so
percent.
So at a committee meeting, I'll go off him for a second, but the chief for the police department said, "Well, this person deserves this money because she does this and does that and whatever because of articles out there that she's getting more than Listen, she's getting more than a code officer gets. She's getting
She's
sixty-four
the second
thousand
high.
dollars. And
More than
here's
the
the
city
deal:
clerk.
a code officer gets 54, 55. I don't know, but
Yeah.
a code officer, whether it's my brother-in-law or his brother-in-law, they have their lives are on the line because they have to go and do shit that a mayor or the chief of police secretary don't have to do. Their lives are, they have to write everything down and shit like that, as we've seen in Schenectady. So why is the secretary to the chief of police getting
Well,
$64,000
you know the
and
answer.
a
It's his
code
daughter.
officer is getting
It's
50
his
something?
daughter, and it has not.
Because of the fact that a code officer has more on the line than a chief.
Just forget
Yeah.
about what's on the
All
freaking
of that.
line. Let's just be realistic here,
Yeah.
right? She is now the highest paid secretary in the history of the city by 20,000 more than the secretary for the
If it's
freaking
voted on.
mayor.
If
The
it's
mayor
Right.
voted on.
secretary,
It's because it's
41
his daughter.
41,000.
He will be the highest mayor in the history of the city, and I would tell you not because he beat me. He's
Yeah.
the biggest failure I've ever seen in the city. I like John McDonald more than I liked him, and I don't like John McDonald all that much. But the bottom line is the guy is a complete failure. And
But
then he has the
the point of the conversation is that code
Yes.
officers that have to go out and
I
inspect
get
these
your point.
buildings and stuff and everything like that.
I get the
And
point.
then if something goes wrong, their asses are on the line
Everybody
for $55,000 when the chief of the secretary for the chief of police is
Yeah.
getting 64 for just sitting there and doing a lot
Doing
of
paperwork.
stuff that doesn't involve health safety.
I could tell you that the secretary for the police chief is doing no more than the one did before her for 40 years. Same
Right.
thing. Oh, they did this. They wrote the grants. It's the same exact job.
Yeah.
Period. Does the girl
job
deserve to
hasn't
have a
changed.
decent pay? Yes. Does she
job
deserve to
hasn't
have a
changed.
raise? Yes. Does she deserve to get 12%? No. Should she be
Yeah.
the highest paid secretary in the country? No. Should he
Yeah.
be a $100,000 a year mayor? No. How
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
he be? He's been a failure. I don't care if you put out a flyer and say 000. When Shawn Morris said to the taxpayer, you ain't paying no taxes, we had new income, millions of dollars of new income. We had come under budget every year, and it was real money, real savings. This guy is not having real savings. What he's doing is he's stealing the money that I put away, and he's using it every year to offset the cost of his expenses because he doesn't have enough money. And then he goes, oh, zero. I could give you a zero all the way till we're bankrupt. That's the reality. And you know it, Billy, because you're on
Yep.
the freaking, you do the budget. Is he not taking money from the rainy day fund to fund the cost of expenses that he doesn't have the money for through normal course of business?
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Robin
You did
Peter
it.
to pay Paul.
You
Sean,
did
I
it.
don't know that answer, Sean.
And you see it right here. You see it in all these numbers right here. Okay.
Let me answer Sean Van Sleep for a minute. I don't know how this, it's got nothing to do with civil service, right, Timmy? The raises are done through the council, just
Yeah.
so I can answer
Well,
your
the board
question.
of, board of managers did the one raise for sure.
Yeah, and then
he
they,
abstained.
but the council then approves
Keeler
it in the
abstained
budget.
during that meeting.
Yeah, he goes into Mike DeRocher, says, give me a $27,000 raise, and then when it comes to vote on it, he thinks I'll be $10. I abstained. Abstain my ass. You told me to put it in there.
At the end of the day, you said it in a previous podcast. Is
Yeah.
that hey, listen, if the guy wants to make 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%,
Yeah.
fine. But
Yes.
don't come out of the gate and say I want $20,000 when
20,
you proven to do
23,000.
nothing
Well,
for the
it's
city of Cohoes.
27%.
And the same with
works
his
out to
family. And
21,
everybody else is getting 2%.
Right.
Make it equal.
Yeah.
And
Balance
he
it out.
wants 20. He wants $20,000+
See,
out of the
this-
gate.
Billy,
Yeah, yeah.
not a single council member got a penny.
And they try to say that I took it.
we don't-
I
we
did not
didn't
have a
get nothing.
raise. Let me underscore
get
that. I didn't have a raise. Before I got elected, you guys raised it up by $4,000 or $5,000 because
Well,
George
I
Primo.
don't even know.
I
I
couldn't-
mean,
I-
back
I'm-
then it
I'm-
was like 10,000, maybe.
Well, I wasn't even in office. That had nothing to do with me.
Neither was I. And then it was like
Look at it. At the end of the day,
$1,000. I don't know, 2%,
you have
whatever.
a flyer that went out that said that the police department is staffed to its best. The fire department is staffed to its highest. The fire department is down 8 firefighters. The flyer is a liar. Is that a rhyme? Did I rhyme that, Timmy? The
I like
flyer
that,
is a liar. Because here's the bottom line. Walk up to that firehouse, and if there's not 9 guys on every shift, then it ain't staffed to its maximum. And I guarantee it's not staffed to the maximum. Because why would they staff it to the maximum when they're trying to say, I don't want the fire department to run an ambulance. I'd rather pay $1 million to some other company because I don't want the firemen to do it because we'd have to hire 8 firemen. Well, he just said the fire department is at its highest levels and fully staffed. He's full of shit. He's lying. They're
He's
down
lying
8 guys.
because now he doesn't got the endorsement of the police department either. So
Well, only 21 guys left
and
since
guess
he's
what,
been there.
Billy? On his flyer right here too, on the bottom, he said he paved 91 streets, but none in the first ward.
got a lot of comments here. So are you going to answer them?
Yeah, you can't. It's true. Okay.
What do you want me to say, Doug?
just
Hang on.
recently-
Time out a minute. Billy's getting all upset. Let me answer Tedster's donut box
I'm not
theory.
getting upset, but there's a lot of comments out there, and,
Yeah.
and it's
But if
like
you were listening, I just said 3 people. Were you paying attention?
probably not
Okay, I'm cutting you off again.
because Timmy was talking.
Yeah, so I answered Sean's comment about civil service. Tedster, he asked about a donut box theory. What do you want me to reply to that? Is it Ducky Donuts? I don't know, Mr. Tedster, about it. I'll tell you what, it is a shell game. The funds are just moved around.
That's it.
They're
This
taking
is why
money.
we're live.
They're taking money out of the rainy day fund, and they're using it to switch it over to make it look like they can cover their bills. And so every day that you have $1,000, now you have 900, 800, 700. You can get away with it for about 10 years, right? If you're just taking that amount, 1,000 a year, then all of a sudden the taxpayer's like, whoa, where's all the money? We have no savings. We can't afford 9 new police officers. We can't afford the fire department. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. It happened here in Cohoes. When I came on the job, 13 firefighters every single day. Then it went 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Because the more we made and the more they mismanaged money and the more they spent the rainy day fund, so they didn't have to raise taxes because that's the political facade, right? We don't raise taxes. Then all of a sudden, bam, out like a light. We're laying off firemen. We're cutting police department. We're not picking up garbage. You got to get rid of your own leaves. I was here. I lived it. I worked it. I was here. You're in the same arena right now with this guy. Puts out a flyer. He gave back 1% last year. Holy shit, what does that mean? It means that he gave back about $4. But the reality is he's spending $1 million more on an ambulance.
Yeah.
So he's got the city in trouble. I don't care if you like him. I don't care if you vote for him. I don't care about a lot of things no more. I really don't. But I'm just going to tell you the truth.
But you do, Sean. You
no.
care
I
about-
don't care what he does
you care
because
about
it's him.
the city of Cohoes.
I care about the city, but I don't care about them no more. I don't care.
Yeah,
I really
no,
don't.
yeah.
What they do is what they do. I'm just going to bring it to light. I'm not going to sit home and cry about it. People have to make a choice. If you vote for the guy because you think he's doing great, God bless you. I got people who badmouth me every day on Facebook, people who I thought liked me. And they're so far up the guy's ass, you can only see the bottom of their feet. And I think to myself, why? What has he done? The downtown is filthy dirty.
Yep.
We go to Canal Square. They've kicked holes in the walls. They wrote all. It's 10 feet from his office. He's let him ruin it.
And he let
Right?
the gateway close, didn't even bother to try
You
to-
can go down 77, do 150 miles an hour. I got $15 million. I had to tell the state of New York that I was going to park a fire truck across the street and lay in the middle of the road. They said, well, move the fire truck. You just lay there. We'll take care of you. But I said, I'll put
But I
that.
have to tell you, though, that the folks that clean up 787, and I'm going to give them kudos. And
Yeah,
that's
you gotta give
Mr.
kudos because
Muscatello and Kenny.
yeah,
They do a great
but
job. down there.
finally, for 3 years that nobody
Yes.
did it.
Yes.
And he only did it because we started complaining every day on
Yes.
this show.
Yep.
So the guys that do it do a fantastic job, and hats off to both of them. I'm really, matter of fact, I wish they were there longer, and they've been doing it forever. But you do a lot of things in an election year. You even cross the street to shake people's hands. I mean, that's what you do, right? It's
Well,
an
not
election.
when you drag knuckles.
Hey, so the police
And you
department.
get your head down, and you don't know who the hell you're talking to.
Knuckles. The police department didn't endorse him.
No.
There's a
But
reason
they
why he
endorse
was a
him.
pirate
Keep in
on
mind, they
Halloween.
endorsed
I
him
mean,
4 years ago. So what has changed that they won't endorse him now?
Well, like
Okay,
21, I
he's
think
right
21
because
cops have left.
yeah,
Now you
because
could
he's
say they're all. You could say it's all because they're retirement age, but I don't. I don't buy that.
no.
And maybe
Well,
nobody will.
that wouldn't
Nobody.
affect. That would not change the fact that they didn't endorse him either,
No.
just
And
because
and,
they
and,
retired.
and now you have a whole city of new people.
Yeah.
Let me just respond to Sean. Sean, I don't know why he doesn't want the ambulance to be run by the fire department because then he looks like the fool that he is because he
so
told me.
how about this? How about um, the unsafe work environment that the DPW has to endure every day under Mr.
Right
Hennessy,
with the
and
garbage truck with
and
bad
I don't want
brakes.
to bring up another gentleman who's old enough to retire, which he should retire because he's getting abused. But it's just a
They
Look, if
got
crusade
him.
I
down
The
there
bottom
where
line is that they
people
got him driving a
want to leave, but
garbage
they
truck
can't leave.
with bad brakes, and they complained about it. And what did they did? They turned around. They killed the messenger because they complained about guys were complaining about driving a fire truck around. I mean, a garbage truck around the city that's got bad brakes, and that's their attitude is.
Look at these guys are working under some real shitty conditions.
Yeah.
It's not just the police department, fire
Yeah.
department, or DPW. It's everybody.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
seen people that have got suspended and lost pay for
Hmm.
30, 40 freaking days
Yeah. Yep.
for not cutting the grass fast enough for them.
Hey, Billy, I wanted to tell you real quick, not to get off the topic, okay? Just what was it today, I think, or yesterday? The New York State Attorney General just put out a hotline for voter intimidation
Don't
and
get me
all.
going there, Timmy.
And the people got the complain about irregularities in the election. Okay, in Cohoes it's prime because of the district redistricting. Ballots coming out with the wrong names on it and everything like that. So everybody in Cohoes, I posted a link on my page where that hotline is, and all you got to do is click on that and you go. Hey, if you go and you can't vote, okay, you need to call that hotline.
So
Anyway,
here's the deal. I got a list. There's 76 absentee
yeah.
ballots out there. 30 some are mine. Um, and I went to a few people today. They weren't home, and I left my door hanger out there. Um, but at the end of the day, it's there's at the Albany County legislator here in the city of Cohoes, Mr. Ethier, is going to the people that I actually picked up the ballots for
Yeah.
and dropped at their house, and he's going to their house saying, "Give me the ballots." Now, I don't know if that's against the law or not. I don't know. I don't, at this point, I
Well,
really don't give a
I would
rat's
call it.
ass. But
I
Gil
would call
Ethier,
that ballot
Gil
harvesting.
Ethier is sabotaging me in the first ward for. I mean, I've had people say I just threw the ballot out because I don't want to deal with it
Yeah.
Hey,
because they
Billy,
don't want to piss me off. They don't want to piss Gil off. But at
after
the end of the day, you know what? Gil, Gil Ether allegedly, and I put it on my page Facebook today, is trying to steal ballots from me that I hand delivered to people, and they're like, "Well, I want to wait till Gil comes," and because Gil went to their house, I said, "Listen, I don't care who you vote for, just seal it, sign it, and seal it. Give it
Yeah.
to Gil, give it to me. I really don't care." Whether it's for me or my opponent or for Gil or
You got to
whatever, I
give it
don't
to you,
care.
or else it
But
could
at the end of the
disappear.
day, he. I guess the word is harvesting, as we
Yeah.
used in the past.
Ballot harvesting.
Is that he's
He's a walking,
he's a
talking
joke
ballot
right now,
harvester.
and again,
Right,
um,
Sean?
Well, I
it's
would just say to Billy
not right,
Smith, you've been in
and
politics about
he's
15
a
years
piece of
now.
shit.
You
If
finding
I
it?
have to say it,
Are you finding it shocking?
I'm
After,
I'm shocked that he's done this to me. This,
well,
I
hey,
mean,
listen. Remember who you are now.
yeah,
You're nobody.
Yeah.
I know.
Look.
You're not
So
part of their
look at.
team.
Are you
You've been
shocked?
traded from the Yankees to the Red Sox. It
Yeah,
doesn't
Billy,
I
matter.
mean, but
Sorry.
this is the third time, and I the
are
strike
you
three
shocked,
and you're
Billy?
out.
I got a question for you. Are you shocked that Justin Alicio started funding the Tom Dion campaign in March against Adam Biggs.
Well, no, I'm not shocked because this is what Keeler wants. Keeler wants his yes men in the position.
Yeah, but see, what Gil doesn't do is he supports and endorses the incumbent mayor, but he doesn't do it for the incumbent council members.
Let me ask you a question, both of
Why?
you.
And I don't care what Gil does anymore.
Billy, let me ask you
Now,
this question,
Yeah.
though, because
By
I
the
had
way,
this battle with Gil for a long time. Everybody knows that Gil's my friend. Everybody knows that
he's my friend too.
I like Gil, uh, and everybody understands that I know Gil and I understand Gil for Gil. Okay, enough
Yeah.
said,
Middle
right?
Street to Middle Street for a reason.
But
Yes.
but yeah, right. You know, I always say you walk down the middle of the road, you get hit by cars coming from both directions, but somehow
Yeah.
they survive, right?
Yeah.
But but what would I need a political party for after I won the primary?
Yeah.
Why? I
Yeah.
need you now when I'm out in the race, I'm running in a primary, you've endorsed me for whatever reason. Why don't you have the full force of the Democratic Army out there knocking on doors, getting me votes, helping me win the election? Why would you go, well, we don't get involved in primaries? Well, what good are you?
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, Sean,
What good are
because
you?
as you and I both know, and Timmy may know,
Yeah.
that this committee of 54, 52,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say they're old, but they're old, but I don't think they really care anymore. And they're not elected anymore. And Gil appoints them as at his
Right.
will, which I
It's
think
supposed to be on the ballot. You're
is
supposed to go like
probably against the
get 10
law.
signatures, right, George?
So
Look, and
Around
I'm
10
going to tell you that
he
I
signatures.
don't
tells
think,
me I'm on the committee. I'm like,
Yeah.
Gil, you never sent me a check. You never sent me an email to say about,
A meeting.
the Democratic outing and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the committee means, and I don't care
well,
who's on
don't
the
worry.
committee,
Yeah.
but
There's only six people at the
it's
party.
broken. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
So
win,
he
lose, or
sold
draw,
300
I'm,
tickets
I'm,
and 60 showed up.
there's going to be a lot of
He lost
people
more
in the
money than
Cohoes
Napier did
that's
at
going to not
Holiday
be a
Inn.
Democrat.
Hey, listen, everybody. It's we've been on for
I'm
47 minutes.
sorry.
This is our first live show. I think it was kind of fun. I know we got some bugs to work out, and we're going to start inviting more people to come on and have conversations with us. You know, why script a show? What fun is that? Let's just talk about things at Cohoes that make us go, wow, because Cohoes is
Yeah, this
imploding.
is great.
If you
Yeah.
think Cohoes is on the upswing, you're nuts because just 3 years ago, we were in magazines. We were rated the top 3 city in the whole entire capital region. That's been wiped out. Business has been wiped out. Sidewalks are filthy. Weeds are growing everywhere. Trees are broken all the way down Ransom Street. When you go down there, you realize that in 3 years, we went from from a utopia backwards. Um, and anybody who doesn't believe that, you're either blind, deaf, or dumb, or you choose to be one of the three,
Ignorant.
because
Yeah.
it's impossible not to see all of the things that have kind of faded away over the last 3 years. So, with that said, it's getting to that point where we got to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So, Billy, good to see
All
you.
I can say is that
Good luck in the
whoever's
next
out there
7 days,
listening,
Bill.
Timmy, let me speak. Whoever's out there listening in the first word, I really appreciate you if you go out and support me on election day, November 7th. Early voting is happening now, but I mean I've done what I can for the first ward. I've not more than the first ward, but the city overall that people have contacted me to get things done, and I'm a voice for one, but I'm a voice for all. So
You know,
I hope you support me if you're out there listening.
I'm going to ask everybody who I know in the first ward, please, please, please vote for Billy Smith so he does not have to now be part of our losing podcast every single week. Keep
I'll
him
still be
in the
on.
council.
I'll still be on.
Please vote for him to keep him in the council.
Because
Billy,
I'll be
listen.
if not that I'll run for school board and I'll still
Otherwise,
be
you're
on.
going to be on the podcast every week. Billy, listen, I wish you well. I love you, man. Prayers for your sister. Say hi to mom, your sister, and everybody for me.
Thank
Keep the faith. Keep knocking on doors. I know you're going to do well. And it was really great to have you back on the show. And I know that we'll be talking to each other soon. So God bless and take care. All right.
Thank you.
Adios.
Timmy,
Yeah.
what do you
Now,
think? We had a little hiccups, but I think
yeah.
overall, my friends, that people are
Overall,
still watching.
yeah, Mike Costig. Okay, the link I think you gave me was a Facebook link, and he was saying
Yeah.
it wasn't working. So we
Costick said
know
that.
we know that. Yeah, we know that now, that the Facebook link or whatever. So we're gonna have to say YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the Facebook. See, I have two Facebooks, and it's not on my. It's on
Yeah,
my older one because that has 5,000 people. So I'm not
yeah,
sure if I'll have to do some support. But hey, listen, we had a good amount of people watching. I
yeah,
know that we got a lot to learn, and
yeah.
there's a lot for us to figure out. But we had fun,
Now
and
look, yeah. Now look, we got to do a real quick thing where I'm gonna hit you up about what's going on with the write-in.
yeah.
You don't want to do that, do you?
Well, Timmy, listen. Let me just
Uh,
let me share this with you, right? My passion to make Cohoes the greatest city in the world has never diminished, right?
yeah,
But until you get kicked in the face as hard as I did by so many people over something that is nonsense, right?
yeah,
The things that ruin my life happen every single day and nobody blinks an eye at it because it's not illegal, it's not wrong, it's not something that I did intentionally, purposely. And in fact, there's a whole entire board of elections that
mm,
says, hey, if you spent this money on that, that may not qualify. You have to pay it back. Kathy Sheen, mayor of Albany, did she have not FBI knock on her door?
yeah,
$35,000, three times what they said, four times what they said I did,
yeah.
right? Peanuts, pennies. At the end of the day, I put a $500 check into the wrong account.
Hmm.
And I did it because they wrote the wrong name on it. Instead of writing Friends of Shawn Morris, they wrote Shawn Morris. I put it in that account, and I still used it on the same thing. And next thing I know, they're blaming for all this shit. And I know what it was, man. They took
Yeah,
advantage of my wife, took advantage of my family in the worst of time. And I
yeah,
lost the passion to
yeah,
go out there and put my family back into that position.
yeah.
My life got pretty well beat up because I wanted to save my kids,
Right,
and
and you
that's what a
know,
father's always going to
right,
do. And I
yeah,
take great pride in knowing that I was a far better father than I was the mayor, and I'm a far better man than those scumbags who are out there calling me a thief and saying I done all these things.
yeah,
I just wasn't going to go through it, Timmy, because I don't have the skin no more. I really don't. When somebody
yeah,
says that to me, I want to reach over and just give them a shot, right?
yeah. Well,
But
you
I love
know,
this city, bro. I still live here. I
yeah.
love the city, and
And
I'm
here's
proud
the
of what.
thing, yeah. And here's the thing. What I wanted to say though is this: there's been an outpouring. You never know whether it's enough, but there is a passion on the opposite side that's saying the city is desperate. We need a Hail Mary pass. You need someone on the end to receive that pass. And they couldn't think of anybody else at the time. So what they did is they started to launch this campaign. It gained steam. Flyers got out, cards got on out, signs got on out. There was a bunch of support. And I never asked you on a podcast or said anything in 30 podcasts regarding this topic with you. And it's because I know the hell that your family went through, but there was a protection mechanism, Shawn. And when people went out of their way not to let the Churchills of the Times Union or any of the other media, we kept them off guard and saying, he's not running a campaign. And you're not. But
No, no, I'm not.
right, you're not running a campaign. So what happened is this was basically a draft. And once people, the word got on out that we were looking to try to do a draft, it gained steam and more steam and more steam and more steam. And next thing you know, it was rolling. So here we are, 7 days before the election. I'm being told, numbers are looking pretty nice. I mean, so look at, you never know what's going to happen, but I was uh, happy to be able to come on board and say, look, I thought you got railroaded last time around. I wasn't going to be part of watching someone else come in and railroad you again, such as the media and Churchill, okay, and keep you out of that. But at the same time, I think there's a outcry and there's a plea from the people that say, look, you did it before and you could do it again. And, you hate to see you have to start over, but That's what we call the rise of the phoenix. You rise from the ashes, and
Timmy, I believe wholeheartedly that if I ran, I'd have won.
you're the one.
Because you know what? I'm just a man.
Yeah,
And every man, every woman in this world
yeah,
deserves a second chance in life, right?
yeah.
For me, I have to bite my pride because I ask people for a second chance for something that I should never have to ask for because I
Right,
did nothing wrong.
right.
But because of who I was and
Yeah.
because I didn't kiss ass of politicians and I
Hmm.
fought with the media, they all, the Breslins, the McDonald's,
Yeah, all
the
them.
Rickards,
The
they
big
all,
shots.
especially Cuomo, they all
Yeah.
ganged up on me,
Hmm.
and I fought them to the end. At the end of the day, having money to take care of my kids was more important than having the
Yep.
job or having my name. I don't need somebody to tell me I'm a good man. I don't need it.
You don't
Here's what
need
I
to spend
told people.
750 grand, okay, to fight them. That
It
you
was going to cost me $3 million
to fight
because
them.
that's
So
what it
you got
cost. Yeah.
yeah. So you got to fall on the sword
Where
sometimes.
do I get $3 million? I was a
Right.
fireman for a $500 check. Look,
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about what my life about is in
Yeah.
that situation. I can only tell you this: I did what was best for me and my family. I don't care what people say about me. Anybody who knows me knows that I love them. If they need me, I'm there to help them.
Yeah.
I spent my whole entire life giving more than I've ever taken and making sure life was better for other people.
Hmm.
I never asked for nothing in return.
Hmm.
Okay. And this is what I said to people. I don't know who started this movement. Nobody called me up and asked me because I would have said no. I have no idea who bought cards. I don't know who put my name on the billboard. I don't know who bought the signs. I go by and I smile because it's humbling.
Hmm.
Here's what I will tell you. If the people love me that much, they want to write my name in, and God said, I want you to come back and fix this town that's dying, I would take the job tomorrow. But I wasn't going to run for the job and hurt my kids and do it all over again
Hmm.
because my kids are far more important than me than to have some title being the mayor. In 3 years, I think I did enough for this city that most people can
Yeah.
say they haven't seen in 100 years,
Yeah.
right? And I had a lot more to do. We would have been an all-America city once again. I
Yeah.
made that promise, and we were well on our way.
It's
Um,
a it's unfortunate that you came into the office at a time when we had pristine haters.
Well,
Okay.
listen, Sean Morris is a polarizing guy. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I say that because I didn't want to be part of the clique. I didn't want to hang out with the clique. I
You
didn't
can't.
care if the
Yeah.
clique liked me. If I fought for things and I would not quit until I got them. I can
Hmm.
remember people saying, just give it to him because I can't have the guy call me one more time. And
Yeah.
I would put my teeth into the bone and I'd never let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this was for saving people's lives, helping old seniors, helping
Yeah.
single moms, trying to get the city back in shape, helping people when I was in the county, helping kids. Some of the programs that are being advertised right now in the county, I started them when
Yeah.
everybody said no, they wouldn't help me.
Yeah.
Today, they have a program in the county, Timmy, where they help kids all summer long with internships. Sean Morris started that.
Yeah.
Rock
Yeah.
the Block, Sean Morris started that. The
Yeah.
car show, Sean Morris started that.
Yeah.
The new sidewalks and the Rock the Block and all I started that.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't get it done by myself. There was great help. I had great
Yeah.
talent surrounding
Yeah.
me, but I had a battle with a lot of people. And I
Yeah.
battled with the Neil Breslins. And,
Hmm.
and I battle. I mean, I'm fighting with Neil Breslin. He's the senator. His brothers are the biggest judges. They get their fingers up Cuomo's ass. I can't win those battles,
Yeah.
but I fought them because I wasn't going to be that little push around kid that they push around like everybody. I wasn't going to stand like a dodo bird.
Yeah.
So here's what I'd
Well.
say to the people, Cohoes,
Yeah.
man. You want to write my name in? I'm humbled. Can I win? I doubt it. Is it possible? I guess it is. You can get hit by lightning, right? You can win the
I
lottery.
won in Albany.
But if I win, I'd fix the city tomorrow. Would I take the job? I would take the job. Am I
Hmm.
knocking on your door asking for it? No. Am I
No.
campaigning for it? No.
Yeah.
I
Right.
just can't put my family through that again, Timmy.
Yep.
And I refuse to do that.
Yep.
That's different than would you take
This
the
time
job
around.
if you
Right.
got it?
Right.
I would take the job if I got it. You could take this piece of this podcast, cut a clip out, and let me say this, look you right in the eyes to the people, Cohoes. If you want to write my name in, I'm humbled. If you believe that I'm the best guy, I'm humbled. Would I fix this city? Absolutely. Would we do better? Absolutely. Would we be paying $1 million for an ambulance? Absolutely not. Would we have a better ambulance? Absolutely. Would our fire department, police department, DPW workers be working under better conditions? Yeah. They would have to realize this. I used to say to them, show up for work. That's all they didn't like me for, because I didn't want people not to show up.
And you
But at
would
the end of
do
the
it.
day, I
Yep.
treated them with great respect.
Mhm.
I treat the city with great respect. I love this city. I love the people, and I love you, and I enjoy the podcast. And that's all I got to say about that. And it's been 1 hour long. I'm out of here. I'm tired. Tim,
Thank
thanks
you.
for
Good
thanks
night.
for everything, and thanks for everybody who watched the show. And I promise it will only get better. So
It's
hey,
our
I'm
first
signing.
podcast, so we're in a learning curve. Good
And I'm
night.
good night. I'm signing off. Thanks, Johnny Morris, for the rock and roll.